และแสดงโดยนางสาวสศิมาพร ดรวงศ์นักเรียนจากชั้นมัธยมศึกษาปีที่5ทับ10ขอเสียงปรบมือด้วยค่ะ
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sasima Pon Dorawong, and I'm a grade 11 student at Wasothon Wararam Waravihar School. Ladies and gentlemen, how far would you go to impress others? How much would you deceive yourself just to be seen as worthy? Today, I'll share with you a story where appearance can be deceiving, and sometimes the truth is far more visible than we realize. So, sit back, relax, and let's unravel the tale of the Emperor's new clothes. Once upon a time, there was an emperor who was absolutely obsessed with clothes. He didn't care much about ruling his kingdom, his army, or even his people. All he cared about was his appearance. Every hour of the day, he was either trying on new outfits, admiring himself in the mirror, or planning his next grand look. People in the kingdom would say, "Our emperor doesn't sit in council, he sits in his wardrobe." One day, two strangers came to the kingdom. They were clever tricksters who had heard about the emperor's vanity and decided to take advantage of it. They presented themselves at the palace, bowing low before the emperor, and said, "Your Majesty, we are the finest weaver in the world. We have invented a fabric so extraordinary that it is invisible to anyone who is unfit for that position or hopelessly stupid." The emperor's eye lit up. "Invisible? Only for the unworthy?" He said. "What a marvelous idea! If I had clothes made of such a fabric, I could find out which of my ministers are unfit for that job, and of course, I'll look magnificent." He immediately gave the weaver a large bag of gold and ordered them to begin at once. The two weavers set up looms at the palace, sent them to work day and night. They moved their hands as if weaving. But there was nothing on the looms at all. They asked for the finest silk and gold thread, which they stuck into their own bag, while they continued to weave their invisible clothes. Days passed, and the emperor still curious about his new clothes, but deep down he worried. What if I can't see the fabric? What if I'm not worthy of being emperor? So, instead of shaking the clothes himself, he sent his most trusted ministers to inspect the work. The minister entered the room, saw the empty looms, and gasped. There's nothing there, but he didn't dare admit it. So, he cleared his throat and said, "Magnificent! Such a fine color, such delicate pattern. Truly, your Majesty will be the envy of the world." The two weavers smiled and bowed. "We are so pleased you like it. Please tell His Majesty how splendid it is." The emperor was delighted by the report. At last, the two weavers announced, "The clothes are ready." They pretended to cut the invisible fabric and stitch it together. Finally, they presented the garments to the emperor. "Your Majesty, these clothes are light like a spider's web. You feel as if you're wearing nothing at all, but that's the beauty of it." The emperor, staring at the empty air, thought, "I don't see anything. Am I unfit to be the emperor?" So he clapped his hand and exclaimed, "Wow, exquisite! A perfect fit! Truly, these are the finest clothes I've ever seen." The two weavers helped the emperor dress in his new clothes, pretending to drape the invisible garments over him. He stood in front of the mirror, turning this way and that, admiring himself while wearing nothing at all. Soon, the emperor little beavers helped the emperor. The emperor decided to show off his new clothes in the grand parade to the city, were spread quickly, and the streets were packed with people, eager to see the emperor in his whole outfit. Of course, none of them could see the clothes, but they all remember the warning, only the unworthy and the foolish cannot see the fabric. So, they cheered and applauded, pretending to admire the invisible garments. Marvelous, one shouted. He's never looked so regal, said another. But then, a small voice called out from the crowd. Wait a minute, he's not wearing any clothes. The crowd fell silent. Every eye turned to a little child who had spoken the truth. He's naked, the child said again, louder this time. A ripple of whispers spread through the crowd. He's right, the emperor has no clothes. And soon, everyone was laughing. The emperor has no clothes. The emperor's face turned red, but he kept walking, pretending not to notice. After all, the parade had to go on. The emperor and advisors followed behind. Though they all knew the truth now, as for the beavers, they were long gone, taking their bags of gold with them. But here's the real question. How often do we let ourselves be blind by what others want us to see? How many times have we followed the crowd, pretending to admire something just to avoid being called foolish? Perhaps it's time we take a step back and ask ourselves, are we truly seeing what's in front of us? Or are we just following the parade? Everyone, may we have the courage like the little child who speak up what is right and call out what we know is wrong. Thank you for your attention. Have a nice day and goodbye.